Hello, Sandra Razielli here. Today for our practice, all we need is a chair. And I'm going to invite you to start by sitting and come onto the front edge of the seat. So your sit bones are almost sliding a little this way, be on the front edge of them. And then lift your toes. As you lift your toes, go ahead and spread them. Take a nice inhalation. As you exhale, lower your toes on down and encourage your spine to lengthen up. Then take your arms by your side, roll your arms so your palms face forward, reach through the pinky fingers. You get a nice sense of grounding down to lift up, and then bring your palms together. Press your palms in towards each other. As you press the palms in towards each other, reach your elbows away from each other. Another inhalation here. As you exhale, place your hands onto your thighs, close your eyes, let your jaw soften. Take a moment to notice that you are breathing, and then let your breath flow. With your next inhalation, begin to increase the expansionary nature of the breath. In other words, take a bigger inhalation. As you exhale, gently press your feet down, encourage your spine to lengthen up. And continue with that. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, gently press the feet down, lengthen your spine up. After the next exhalation, let your breath flow on its own. Bring your palms together again. Press them in towards each other. Lengthen the back of your neck by bringing your chin down towards your chest without collapsing. And then place your hands on down. Lift your head up. Let your eyes open. All right, and here we are. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. We're going to just do a little stretch for the spine. So lean forward a bit, press your feet down, lift on up, and come to the back of your chair. Take your hands onto the back of the chair. Let's walk backwards. One of my favorite things, one of the go-to things to do every day. Bring your hips under your heels. If your back is rounded when you do this, bend your knees, and then just reach back. Get nice length in your spine. Inhale and exhale. Again, inhale, expansion. Exhale, feel your feet grounding down. Let that go up into your spine. And then take a step forward. Come up to standing and circle your shoulders a few times. All right, let's come back to the chair. And sit up on the front edge of the chair again. And I'll show you sideways. We're going to do a little bit of rocking. Oh, it was cool here. Now it's warming up. So I'm going to take this off. You can see me better a little too. So notice that my heels are under my knees. I'm on the front edge of the chair to get the length in the spine. And then with your next exhalation, begin to take your sit bones forward so your spine rounds. Feel that in the belly. And then inhale, go the opposite direction. So we're doing this a little slower today to really get into the movements. On the front edge of your sit bones, come onto the back edge of your sit bones. Back and forth at your own pace. After you've done them a few times, just let the movement go a little higher up your spine. Now you might begin to feel that as you make the movements bigger up the spine, right, your arms begin to move more. So let your arms dangle, and as you move the spine, notice what your arms do. Don't try to move the arms, just continue to move the spine, more or less to almost to the edge of your maximum range of movement, where you can round and then take the sit bones. Be on the front edge of the sit bones, open up the chest. So at some point, you're going to feel like, especially with the chest opening, that you can't go any further unless you actually move the arms. So let's begin to add the arms to the movement. So as you exhale, reach your arms forward as you round. You feel the shoulder blades come away from each other. As you inhale, take your hands back, open up the chest, and back and forth at your own pace. And of course, we're being careful to move incrementally along the spine. Some of you may find that if you do this with enough attention, you may find that there's a little imbalance in the sit bones, that you roll over one more than the other. That's normal, because remember, we are asymmetrical even though we're bilateral. The next time you open up the chest, stay there. Reach the arms back. Lift the sternum and take your chin back. Reach for your fingertips. Then lower your arms on down. If you have a place on the chair you can grab onto, go ahead, grab onto that. And reach your spine straight up. Breathe. Take your jaw, wiggle it a little side to side, slowly. Okay, and then turn so that your right shoulder is facing the back of the chair. So that's going to be, if I'm mirroring you, more like this. Right shoulder facing the back of the chair. Be on the front edge of the chair. If you have a chair that you don't lift, of course, just turn around. So sit bones ground, spine lengthens. We're going to come into a twist by taking the right hand to the left side of the navel. And on your exhalation, begin to spiral to the right. When you finish your exhalation, stop there. Lift and lengthen. On the exhalation, go a little further. Now, the tendency when you do this is for the knees to begin to shift. So encourage your knees to stay parallel to each other. As you go a little further, take your left hand to the back of the chair. Before you pull too hard, use the musculature of the center of the body. There will be a point where you can't go any further, except with the head and neck. Right? So go ahead and turn your head by turning the neck. And then give a little more pull with your left hand. Keep your spine nice and long. Then take your right hand to the top back of the chair and push with the base of your right palm as you pull with your left hand. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, spiral. Still keeping the knees in line with each other. One more inhalation here. And on the exhalation, unwind. Back to center. Good. So do the other side. Go ahead and turn around in the chair. You get to see me from the back. So again, feet grounding, spine lengthening. Nice inhalation. On the exhalation, spiraling to your left. On the inhalation, expanding. The exhalation, spiraling. And we can add the awareness of keeping the spine long. As you go a little further, bring the right hand across your body just to hold on to the chair. Left hand goes behind your back. Take your time to feel into the movements. turning the whole spine as much as you can with the musculature in the center of your body without yanking anything. The tendency to tip the head one direction or the other, encourage your head to stay level. And then on the next exhalation, pull with the right hand. Take the left hand onto the chair and give a push. One more inhalation, and on the exhalation from their belly, unwind, back to center. Good. Press down with your feet, and if you can, without your hands, lift up. Go to the back of the chair, and take your hands on the back of the chair, and again, walk backwards. Now, I find for myself that I have a tendency to have my heels a little more forward than I realize. So I'm making a concerted effort these days to really notice that difference. It's not necessarily wrong. It just is not going to have the same effect. And I find that if I have my feet really under my hips, I get more length in the lower spine, which is generally a very hard area to access. So once you're there, go ahead, bend your knees. Lift and widen your sit bones. Lift your toes, spread your toes, and then very slowly move towards straightening your legs. And then bring your toes back down. Maybe let your belly hollow. So you may notice that the chair I'm using, I can lift it up a little so it comes on two legs. If you have that capability, go ahead and do that. If not, no worries. But what I'd like you to do, either way, is to push the back of the chair away from your head. And if you've got that lift, a lighter chair, you may notice that the two legs in front lower. But the intention is to get a little more length in the sides of your ribs. Right, and then maybe bring the chair back down, take a step forward. Back into standing, roll your shoulders a few times. Up and around. Right, and then come back onto the chair. Sit on the front edge of the chair again like we did earlier. And this time take your right ankle over your left thigh. Let's circle the ankle a few times. That's actually what I often do if I'm in a meeting when I'm really bored. I circle my ankle, and that helps me be a little more present. Circle the other direction. It's also good for my ankles and other body parts. Okay, and then feel the bottom foot grounding down. I can get that foot, a little bit of the foot in camera, lift the toes. Now this may be enough, and if this is actually too much for your hips, you can straighten this leg, and so you have less pressure and less of that rotation. But otherwise, have that knee bent. Option to stay here. Or, again, take your hands to the sides of the chair. If you don't have the side to grab onto, just reach your fingertips down and begin to hinge forward. So we're not trying to go as far as we can go. We're working towards creating some space, some sensation in that outer hip. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, hinge forward. Now, if you find that you're getting fairly forward, you might choose to bring your hands onto the shin and continue. And if you feel that you've got a good hinge at the lower back, you might choose to round your head forward. But if you do, take your hands to your lower back and make sure you're not pressing. If you take your hands on your lower back, that your sacrum is not pressing into your hands. If you're not sure what I mean, I'll show you. Otherwise, just continue inhaling, expanding, exhale, releasing. What I mean by that is, as I come forward, I take my hands here. If I found myself doing this, then I know I shouldn't be doing that, and I'm staying with the hinge. But if you feel that the back of the hands are not pressing, are not being pressed by the back, then you might choose to round forward. That can be comforting. And then you might take your hands by your shin. And next inhalation, come up. And we'll switch legs. So opposite leg, take it on top. Circle the ankle a few times one direction. And then switch the direction. And take your arms by your side, and lengthen up through the spine, and hinge forward. Notice I'm keeping my neck long as I come forward. So you may again stay here, or check your hands. Is your back pressing into your hands? If not, you might go a little further, and you might round the spine. The upper spine, the mid-spine, the upper spine. Placing your hands wherever feels appropriate. Stay with your breath. And then press down with the foot that's on the ground. Inhale, come on up. Good. Take both feet out in front. Let's lift all the toes. Stay on the front edge of your sit bones. Go ahead and look down at your feet and spread your toes and slowly lower them. And then look at your big toes and just lift the big toes. If they don't cooperate, you can talk to them a little bit. They still might not cooperate, but just you give them the sense of the possibility, right? And then bring your big toes down and lift all the other toes as you press the big toe down. You might notice one side's easier than another. Good. And then release. All right, so now extend your right leg out onto the floor. Reach through that heel strongly. As you reach through the heel, open up the spaces between the toes. Take your hands onto the chair and lengthen your spine. Then open up the top of the foot, but keep spreading the toes. Keep the toes lifting towards your head as you reach the top of the foot onto the floor. So if you're not sure what I'm saying, let's see. So the toes are coming towards you, but you're opening up the top of the ankle first. There we go. And then go ahead and point the toes. Be careful that note that this does not, if you begin to cramp, hold back on it a little bit. Many of us, unless we did ballet type things, we're not used to pointing our foot extremely in that direction. All right, and then reach through your heel again. Bend the knee. And second side. So reach the leg out. Draw your toes toward your nose. Are you breathing? Keep the toes drawing towards the nose as you open up the front of the ankle. And then bring the toes onto the ground, onto the floor. Good. And then come back. All right, so let's take a little bit with the arms. Go ahead and interlace your fingers. Reach your palms forward. Lengthen through your upper arms, and then take your arms up to the first stopping point. Reach through your upper arms. Lift your shoulder blades, keeping stability in the spine as you go. You might be here. That's all right. You might be higher up. Press the base of the palms up, 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 up. And release your fingers. Turn your palms to face each other. From the space between your shoulder blades, look up. But then take your arms out nice and wide. And reach nice and wide. Go ahead and turn your head to the right. Come back to center. Turn your head to the left. Come back to center. Take your arms down by your side. And just take a moment. Breathing. All right. So we're going to come back to the twist and we're going to add a bit to it. And this time, we're going to use the hands, but a little bit differently. So come to sit again. So the right side, your right shoulder is by the back of the chair. Come on to the front edge of the chair, feet grounding, spine lengthening. Look at your right finger. Take your hand out in front. Take your shoulder up by your ear and take it down. Take it up by the ear, take it down. And then release the arm and turn your head and notice how far it turns. You can turn the eyes too. Come back to center, take your arm back up again. Nice inhalation. Now on your exhalation, begin to spiral from the belly. And as you spiral, watch your hand. As you go further, take your left hand to the chair. Keep the right arm up in the air. Keep moving, 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 and as you go further, check that your knees are staying even with each other. So we're twisting from the belly. And keep watching, watching, watching. Give a little pull with the left hand. Turn your eyes a little bit more to the right even. One more inhalation here. On your exhalation, come on back. Release the hand. Good. And then go ahead and check your range of motion. Whoa. This is the owl pose. All right, second side. Turn around in the chair or turn the chair around. Sit on the front edge of the chair. Go ahead and take your right arm forward, left arm forward, right? Up and down with the shoulder a few times. I'm just showing you, but you can do it in front. Then turn your head, notice where it goes. Bring the left arm again forward, keep the shoulder blade down the back. Watch your third finger. And begin to turn. Keep looking at the third finger. Take your right hand to the chair. Keep looking at the finger. And be careful here. Again, there are different variations of twists. Sometimes you might let the knees go, but for today we're not going to do that. So that means the twist is going to be higher up. It's not going to be in the sacrum. It's going to be in the belly. Keep watching the hand, watching the finger. Take your eyes even more to the right. To the left. Sorry. Good. All right, and then slowly unwind. And check out the range of motion. If you become an owl, go a little bit side to side with your head. Good. All right, and then take a moment in center, feet grounding, spine lengthening. Roll your arms so your palms face up. Feel the shoulder blades down the back. Close your eyes. Let's come back to the breath. Let your jaw be soft. And then just let your breath flow. We'll be here just for a little bit, letting your breath flow while keeping the spine nice and long. And then bring your palms together. Press your palms in towards each other, elbows away from each other. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, press the feet down, lengthen the spine up. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale, expansion. Exhale, length. And then let the breath move on its own. Bring your thumbs to the sternum. Lengthen the back of your neck by lowering your chin towards the chest, lifting the chest towards the chin. Lift your head back up. And may the simple movements help you connect on deeper and deeper levels. Namaste. So as you've just experienced, today was a fairly gentle practice where you just take the time to feel into each movement, and just simple things you can do. You can do any of these things we did, you can do on their own, or you can do them in the series like we just did. So thanks for joining me, and aloha, mahalo, namaste, nitraot.